Hey folks, how's it going? Rosendo here from MLH. Thank you for joining us once again as we wrap up the end of day one of Global Hack Week Cloud Week. It's been pretty awesome thus far. We've got another special treat for you today. We'll be joined by Rashid, who is a GitHub campus expert. We're going to be exploring GitHub Actions, your team deployments, and how you can really just like jumpstart and upgrade the way that you're collaborating online using GitHub. I think it's going to be really relevant for a lot of the folks out there that like to work on collaborative projects with one another. Hello to everyone here. I see some familiar faces. I see some new ones. That is awesome. If you're here in the chat, make sure you drop some hellos, any greetings that you want to, any greetings that you have, or just like really say hello to Rashid, who is joining us all the way from Nigeria, which is pretty awesome in my opinion, making it a truly global hack week. So, without any further ado, I'll go ahead and bring him up on a stage. Please give him a warm round of applause. How's it going, Rashid?
Yeah,
All right, I'll
it's
leave you to it.
evening over here. Yeah, it's evening over here. So permit me to say good evening to everyone. Thanks you for joining the Global Hack Week, the Cloud Edition, and I'm very happy to be here this evening with you all. If you're in the morning, I'm happy to be here with you this morning, and if you're in the afternoon, I'm very happy to be with you in the afternoon that you are currently in. But for me, I'm currently in the evening. Yeah, thank you so much for joining us as well. Yeah. Today we'll be diving into GitHub Action, and as I kickstart my presentation, I have a couple of slides to share with you all. And after that, I'll go into demo and see how all things works out generally. And in my slide, I have a slide for myself to tell you all about myself. So we'll be pulling up my slide now so that we can kickstart everything right away. So if you're excited to see me, I'm as well excited to see you all. Yeah. So let me go to slideshow. A couple of house check. Can you see my slide in slideshow? You may not be able to do that, but then I'm very sure you'll be seeing my slide on a slideshow. Yeah. And here, so basically, uh, hello everyone. Thank you for joining for this session. I'm Rashid Mudasiru, and I'm a GitHub campus expert. So I'm an expert, and what we do as a GitHub campus expert is talk about GitHub products, organize community, and support community around us to make community thrive, support community organize hackathons and all, and many things like that. If you want to check out more, put it on Google, type GitHub Education, and you'll be able to find a lot of resources on how to become one and how to um, be part of the program. Yeah, this is basically the slide I was talking about to talk about myself. I am Rashid Mudasiru, and I'm from the name of my university is basically Federal University of Technology, Mina, here in Nigeria. So I am a community organizer. I could remember one of the MLH community event I organized was in 2019, and I was very happy to be part of the 2021 MLH Top 50 Hackers. Yeah, I love traveling, and I'm a software developer focusing on DevOps. I love open source. If anybody wants to catch me up on social media, I'm on Twitter or X, as you may call it, right at the moment, at underscore IBN, as you can see on the screen, MUDATHIR. Yeah, let's jump into the discussion of today, GitHub Actions. I want to talk about how you can supercharge your team with the help of GitHub Action. Many of us will be like, oh, why do I even need GitHub Action? What is even GitHub Action? These are many more things that are the thing that we'll be going through today. I'll be showing you the capability of GitHub Actions, the basic rudiment that you need to know to get started. Believe me, it is as simple as clicking some buttons and get everything work for you, get your software deployed, and yeah, everything works out the way you want it to work, the way you want them to work out, basically. Yeah. Why should I care about GitHub Actions? That's the question some of us may have. Why you should care about GitHub Action? Why not considering other platform? Before I proceed, I would like to let you know that GitHub Action is a CI/CD tool or a CI/CD platform that can help you to automate your deployment, your code integration and your build, your test, every other thing that come under continuous integration and continuous deployment. I will be explaining this term a bit further as we progress. So bear with me at the moment. You'll get to know what all this means if you are just getting started, or if this is your first time joining a call like this, a discussion like this around DevOps, around GitHub or GitHub Actions. So I will be taking my time to explain all of this for us. So I have a timer here that I need to be following, so bear with me. So as I mentioned earlier, that GitHub Action is essentially the platform to automate deployment pipeline. As our discussion today, we want to look for a way of making the life of your team members easier by showing them tools that can help them easy deployment, easy integration, and easy build and easy artifact production. Many more things that you can do. We want to ease this thing for you, and this is what the team at GitHub are doing. Is developers' life. They want to ease your life. Anything you are building the next unicorn, you are building the best solution on the world, in the world rather. They want to provide a platform for you to be able to do that. And one of the platforms they are providing is GitHub Action, which you can leverage on to be able to produce a CI/CD pipeline that will easy your deployment and your code integration. So what is CI? What is CD? Should be the next slide that we'll be seeing. So CI is basically the process of integrating your codes together. Okay, you have a couple of team members working on a particular product. Okay, so you need a way of merging these two products together. The simple example I do give people along the line is, okay, if your product just have front end team and back end team, and you need a way to merge these codes together. Let's say you are working with a monorepo or any idea like that, or focus. Let me just streamline my example to just front end. Okay, let's say two person are on the team on your front end team, and these two people, one is working on login, another one is working on sign up page. Okay, matching these two pages together, they cannot just work separately. You have to bring them together to become a one product, a single product. Okay, the process of you taking this product A, the process of you taking what's it called, the feature the Mr. A is working on with the feature Mr. B is working on. That is the process of bringing them together, making them one single product, is what we call continuous integration. So along this continuous integration, I have my light off. I don't know why. I think I have to pull it up again to see what is happening. Bear with me. I don't know why it goes off like that. Okay, sorry. It's a normal thing to have a technical glitches. I don't know why my light went off the other time. Yep. Okay. So the process of integrating the code written by the different team members is what we refer to as continuous integration, and the delivering part is the taking these products to our customer. We've been able to accumulate the code written by Mr. A, which is login, the Mr. B that did sign up, and another person that did a lot of things. We've been able to match this thing together, but then we need to make it available for our customer. So the process of making this particular product available for our customer is quote unquote the CD part of the CI/CD pipeline. It's a bit technical than this, but then I think what we need to focus on at the moment is, okay, how does it work on a granular level, on a basic level, and as we progress, we'll get to know more about it. And I believe I've been able to do a kind of justice to that. So when we now say it's an automation tool, okay, is it going to perform a magic for us? Is it a magic tool that just kick off and start working? No, GitHub Action is not performing magic. In the past, the way we integrate tools together, if you are not using GitHub Action, you can be using Circle CI or using any other tools for your CI/CD pipeline. And how those tools work is that, okay, you have your code on GitHub. Okay, so for you to be able to authenticate your GitHub account and your Circle CI account together, what will happen at the back end is basically Circle CI will create a web hooks on your GitHub repository, on that particular GitHub repository. If you can see the image on my right hand side, you will see a webhook page on the GitHub, on my GitHub repository. So what that one is doing is that it will be the one listening to the every event on that particular repository, push event, pull request event, and many more events like that. Okay, so every event that happened on my repository, it is the webhooks created by Circle CI that you will be, the Circle CI engine will be using to know what is happening on my GitHub repository. But at the moment, if you are using GitHub Action, that one has been abstracted away from you. You don't need to authenticate any other tool, third-party application or any other tool to be able to achieve that. So everything built into GitHub, and you get to work with it. I don't know why my light is going off, but then we'll keep on it, putting it on every time. Probably I will reduce the strength. Bear with me. I don't know why that's happening. Okay, so on our GitHub Actions, or the tool or the part that we need to focus more on is the event that will kickstart everything. Is the event that will happen on our GitHub repository that will now kickstart every job that we want to run. Job is like, okay, every action that we want to take. Okay, I want to install Node.js on my pipeline. I want to check out my code from GitHub repository, and a lot of things we can do with that. For us to be able to do that, we need an event to be able to kickstart that process. Event kickstarting a process need an environment to run, and that's where runners come in. So you can use GitHub hosted runner, and as well you can use a runner. You can self-host a runner yourself. So GitHub team did a very wonderful job there to provide you a runner. And if you cannot use their runner, you can go ahead and have your own personal runner, self-hosted runner. I think this particular session will not be focusing on self-hosted runner. We'll be focusing on the GitHub hosted runner for you. So let's talk about features so that we can move faster or a bit faster to where we are going. So some of the features provided by GitHub Actions. So the first one is you can use variables in your workflows. Okay, variable, as we all know in our computer science class, if you are not a CS student, as we all know in the programming class that you've attended, be it bootcamp or wherever documentation you'll be reading, at one point or the other, you will have heard about variables. Okay, so the same variables that you know there, yeah, transfer it back here, and it is the same thing. You can use variable, declare a variable name, and along the line while you are writing your job or whatever steps you are writing, you can go ahead and use this. And that's first powerful tool provided by the GitHub Action for you to leverage on. Another one is you have the capability to run scripts. You can write script by yourself, be it a script that will kickstart your project or that will start your server for you, or do a lot of things that you want to automate. So this particular script that you want to create, you can just take GitHub Action to run it for you at a point, and it will definitely run it for you. So you have that capability. GitHub Action give you that capability to be able to run what's it called, scripts of any type that you wrote yourself or you get from somewhere or your team member wrote, or wherever you get it from. So where you trust the script, GitHub Action can run it for you. There's a platform for you to run that. And one last main features that GitHub Action is providing is sharing data between jobs. Okay, you have different jobs. You want to transfer one data from one job to the other. Yeah, we'll see that while we progress here or during our demo, where we transfer our link from one point to the other, and we produce an artifact one place and get it to production at another job. So yeah, what the point is, you get the ability to share data between different jobs. So when GitHub Action started, there are a lot of things missing. Permit me to hunt this again. Don't know why that's happening. So when GitHub Action started, there are a lot of as we all know, software, you can't have a perfect software at a point. You keep improving it, keep doing it, and keep getting better. So that's why GitHub Action has improved over time and give you a lot of capability beyond what I just said, and you can rely on it as your complete CI/CD pipeline. Let's look at some of them. So you can run your CI/CD pipeline can run on a Linux server, which is hosted by GitHub for you, or you are hosting it yourself, in Mac OS, in Windows ARM, and a containers. So everybody is moving towards container. We all know what a container is. A running image, you build a container, you build a Docker file, you convert it to a Docker image. A Docker image, you turn into a container, which is your running image, is definitely what we refer to as container. So whatever things you want to run, GitHub Action give you a platform to be able to run it over Linux, macOS, Windows, ARM, and even a container, a running image. So you have ability to build matrix build. Okay, matrix build is like having a multiple action, getting schedules. You can run schedule by running several cron jobs. You can run on on different operating system at a time. That's matrix build. Running on different OS. Okay, I want to test whether my software will run on Windows 10, and it will. I want to check as well whether it will run on Windows 11. So I can do that through the matrix build. So this is one of the capability and power given to you by GitHub Action as well. Another one is you can write any. You can actually use GitHub Action for any programming language you wish. Any programming language, you are welcome. You write Java, you write JavaScript, you write Golang, you write Rust, wherever programming language you write, C++, Node.js, or whatever tools you use, GitHub Action give you a platform for you to be able to run whatever thing you want to run. So lastly, before we move on to the next stage of our discussion, um, this is a four-ish, as popularly called by the program manager at GitHub Action. Basically said there are four-ish given to you by GitHub Action. It gives you a protected environment. It gives you access to store your secrets. Okay, you know, all those your environment variable. You need a place to be able to integrate them into your CI/CD pipeline. So GitHub Action provides a secret environment for you to be able to do that. Give you an environment to track whatever thing is happening, the action that is running, the one that is not running, the step that is performing the right thing, and the one that is not performing what it's supposed to perform. And finally, it gives you an environment to visualize and see how this action links together, how these jobs links together, and how everything comes together to be a complete CI/CD pipeline for your for wherever things you are building. You are building for an hackathon, you are building for your company, you are building for your customer, or wherever things you are building. You have access to this tool to be able to store secrets, to be able to track what's going on, to be able to visualize, and even protect your repository. So let's talk about benefits before we move on to the next. Let's talk about the action environment. Okay, so what can GitHub Action? You know, when I was doing the introduction, I said, why should I care about GitHub Action? So I briefly mentioned why you should care, but at this point, I want to dive deep into it, let you know why you should care and why you should try out GitHub Action. Number one is streamline your CI/CD pipeline. Instead of you looking for third-party tool, or you thinking about getting access to some tools that you will need to authenticate into your GitHub Action, that will need to create a webhooks and listen to some what's it called, some actions on your repo. You have everything together where your code base live, and you can create your pipeline and connect the two together on a single platform, which is GitHub. So you don't have to look out any other service to be able to run your CI/CD pipeline. Everything gets integrated together for you on GitHub. And another one is automatic deployment trigger. If you set up your actions to for another, if you set up your deployment action or job, let me call it job. That's the right word to use. You set up your deployment job. GitHub Action will help you to trigger it automatically. What you need to do is tell the job the action to listen to. Okay, listen to pull request action or pull request event, or listen to push event, listen to many more events, or whatever event you wish your job to listen to. Just put it in the instruction while you are creating your job, and GitHub Action will listen to the event and get your system deploy onto the server or wherever place you want to deploy it to. So another key benefit that we need to talk about is cost. Okay, the question with in most of our mind now is, oh, probably you've tried enough um to explain all these things for us, but then how much do I need to pay to use what you are talking about? So if you are running a public repository, it is totally free for you. You are running a public repository, it's free for you. Okay, your repository is open for everybody. We assume it's an open source project, so it's totally free. You don't have to pay a dime. You get to start as many as GitHub hosted runner, and you get to use them as many as you wish. But if your repository is private, we assume you are running an enterprise service, and you need to check out the pricing plan. And bear with me, it's actually easy and very simple and not that cost. So I would advise you to check it out basically. So some of our other benefits is everything get to be on GitHub, and it's listing to all GitHub events. Every event happen on your GitHub repository, GitHub Action listing to them. GitHub Actions listing to every event. And another important benefit is that it is community powered. Okay, it's an open source, and everybody can come and contribute everybody can come and contribute what's it called actions. Okay, and you too can do that. You can contribute actions into community platform, into marketplace, and everybody can get to use them. So it's community powered. It's not somebody owning it or somebody saying, oh, it's my own. It's for everybody. You can contribute, somebody else can contribute, and we can share action within ourselves, which is one of the powerful things given to us by GitHub Action. So, and lastly, it is platform compatibility, different platform compatibility. You get, if you want to run on AWS, you want to run on Azure, you want to run on Google Cloud, you have ability to authenticate onto this platform I just mentioned and many more, or DigitalOcean or wherever cloud service you want to use. We have what is called OIDC, which you can use to connect directly to your various cloud services that you may think of. So at this point, I want to let you know that these are not the only benefits you can get out of using GitHub Action. There are many more, but to not bore us with a lot of slide and a lot of story, I will have to stop it here and take you further to the demo of the day. Before we proceed to the demo, I think we can do a couple of house check and see what people are saying in the chat, and from there we can kickstart our demo. GitHub Action can run in Git or no? Yeah, it actually depends on the Git. GitHub Action, you can. There are tools you can use to run it locally to visualize the same thing you can see on GitHub, and you'll see it on your local machine. So if you have Git installed, you get to see You can create an action and be able to run that particular action basically. Don't know what's happening to my light. I don't know. Maybe I answered that question correctly, but if there's a follow-up question, I would love to take it up from there. Before we go for is Dependabot a GitHub action? Dependabot is a different service on its own. It may I'm not very sure whether it's leverage. Definitely, it's leverages on GitHub action. But then the simple answer is Dependabot. It is different service, but then depends on GitHub Action. That's why you get to see a lot of things created for you if you install Dependabot on your repository or wherever project you are running. So yeah, that's the answer to that one. If there's any follow up on that as well, I would love to take it. Can we build alongside you if you slow down? Definitely. I know I'm a very when I speak very fast. I'm supposed to inform us with that. So sorry about being fast. So we'll definitely share link for us. I will share the startup project for us to kickstart together, and then we'll get to work together as we progress. Let me check my time. Yeah, I think we still have a couple of minutes to do that. So, is there any more question that we can take in the next 1 to 2 minutes? Then we'll kickstart the demo. Will you please show how to use GitHub Action with Docker on a remote worker? Um, the demo I'm going to show is going to be very minimalistic and very simple implementation of GitHub Action. But then I can say if you have more time, I can show us how to do that. But then if there is no time, yeah, you can reach me through my handle. We can set out to do a demo or a kind of meeting together or schedule a session between ourselves, and I can show you how to do that. Basically, it is as simple as getting, Docker team are building action as well, so you can just put their action, put it in your repository, and every other thing get to work as you want them to work. But then, if you still confused on how to go about that, if you are unable to reach that site today, yeah, you can reach me. I'm also in MLH Discord server. We can get to hook up from there, and then we can get to carry out something and do it together. Probably share it with other community members to join us and see how that is done. Yeah, that's that about that as well. Okay, so it's like there's no more couple of questions I need to answer before we progress. So let me get us the link for the starter. Um, give me a moment. I want to get the link for us to get started so that we'll follow along as I'm doing it. Okay, I have it here. Pull it here so that you can see it on the screen. Yeah. In a couple of seconds, you will be able to see the link to the starter code. This is the starter code I will be using, and that's what I will be using as well. So let me wait for that to get pop up on the screen. Yeah, thank you so much for bringing that up for us. My light is going off every seconds, and I don't know why that is happening. Yeah, I want to assume we've been able to get that. Yeah, but let me give us a couple of seconds to do that while I pull up my own. So what I did basically is I have this. It's the same thing I have on my starter that I have here. Basically, it's the same thing. Nothing changes. Yeah. So I will be editing this. That's why I decided to make two different repository. Not making a branch so that I don't want conflicts and so that I will not hang on this particular screen for a longer time. So I decided to open it with GitHub Code Spaces, and I have this up. So this is what I have up. So let me see how I can make it bigger. Um, I'm actually doing this to wait for some of us to pull it up. You can just fork the repository, and if you wish to clone it, do it to do that. Oh my gosh, sorry, I did not. Okay, so I want to assume some of us are pulling it up, following the link on the screen. Yeah. So if you clone that repository, you are going to see this folders and files. So you'll be able to see these folders and files. So let me just give you like 30 seconds more to be able to find out whether you've been able to clone, or probably we should get some reaction in the chat if you've been able to get it up. So I will be going back to see the chat, whether it's up or not, whether some of us have been able to get the starter code. We are fucking this. Yes, fuck it. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, if you have been able to do it, yeah, I'm waiting. I'm actually waiting for you. If you have been able to do it, yeah, you can just um do drop an emoji in the chat, and then we can start from there. Bear in mind we don't have all days. Yeah, we have to work with our time, and then yeah, I believe we'll be able to achieve a lot together. So I'm giving us a couple of seconds to do that. Yeah. Let me check chat again. Okay, somebody just drop a thumbs up. Git clone. Yeah, that works as well. What you just need is you create another repository and push it there whenever we get to that stage. Okay, so I want to be sure some of us have been able to do that. So by the count of, let me see my time. By 31 over here or 32 over here, I will be going to the next step. Yeah, it's going to be fun. So, and I'm going to take my time to do a lot of explanation for us. Yeah. I want to be sure almost all of us have been able to clone it. Yeah, we have limited time. I have to go now. I have to go now by the count of 5. I want to go. Okay. Make public. Mhm. Yeah, make this public for everyone to be able to access. Yeah. So this, what we need to do is push this into GitHub, but before you push to GitHub, let me drop this. Yeah, it's not time for you to drop. Okay, drop bit, but not now. Yeah, let's move on. Okay, I'll be sharing my slides but on my screen back. So I'm on GitHub code space. I'll be sure you can see. Let me see. Okay. Yeah. So now, if you clone that repository down, this is exactly what you have. You have a couple of a couple of directories, documentation directory. That's just to show standard. I not put a couple of things there. All I put there is how to use the tool we are building, and that's what I refer to as my documentation. Don't mind me. I'm just trying to cook up something for this session. So yeah, and then we have our source file, which has our script, which is the JavaScript script, and then we have another CSS folder, which is for our styles and everything that come with the slide. And then finally, or second to the last, we have our index.html, which definitely contain every HTML tag that we want to be using. Yeah, this test, we're supposed to write a test, but then we don't have all this. So I just decided to put a console.log there for us to see something happening. Then I have a README file, which is generated for me by GitHub Copilot. We don't need it. I may decide to remove it and call it our demo. We don't need this part, so we may not care about that. So let's see what this particular project is doing in a bit. So it's basically displaying the location of a developer by leveraging on the GitHub API. So we'll be using GitHub API to pull out your location that you put in your profile. So if you don't have that, we'll display something else for you. So, and this is the our JavaScript that's doing all that. You can see it's making a API request to this particular endpoint. So if you have not been using GitHub REST API before, this is how you can use it. So it's open, it's free for you to use, and you can access any free repository outside that. So this is basically what this one is doing. Because this is not JavaScript class and this is not HTML class, what we need is, okay, somebody have written this, we want to deploy it. So I don't know, this could be the project you are building for an hackathon. This could be a project that you want to release for many more people to use other than that. So up next for us to do to be able to use GitHub Action is that we'll create a folder called .github. So that's what I want to do now. I want to create a folder .github. That's the first step. Let me allow. Okay, it's created. Inside that same folder that we just created now, I'll create another folder called workflows. Workflows. Yeah, this is the standard that we need to follow to be able to achieve this. Okay. So I will allow that to create as well. I want to be sure everybody, I'm assuming we are following. So do where to follow. It's as simple as that. Create a folder with .github. Then inside that folder, create another folder called workflows. Workflows. So inside that workflow, that's where we have different actions that we want to run. So I will be creating a file inside the workflows. So probably call it demo deploy. And the extension to be used for GitHub Action to be able to do whatever things we want it to do are two. We can use JSON and we can use YAML, but we'll be using YAML format here. So I'll be putting .yml, which is one of the standard for YAML file. We can see our code space is telling us that, oh, this is actually a YAML file. So it could be, you can put YAML, and if you want to write JSON, you can put JSON there. But for this demo, we'll be using YAML. So I will be pulling up a link for us to be able to access the gist for all the actions that we want to run. So I want to be sure we can get a link on the screen. That link will take us to a page, a GitHub gist, and we'll be able to copy that gist and be able to pull it in here. So I'll go and get my own. I'm waiting for you to go and get your own as well. So follow the link on the screen, then copy the actions or wherever YAML stuff that you can see there. Copy it and put it here. So I've copied my own. I want to paste it. So I will now walk us through step by step on how this works. Okay, so I think there are a bit of comments there that can guide us to see how this is done. So it's a simple workflow for deploying static content to GitHub pages. So a test environment and a production environment. So we want to use GitHub pages to be our test environment and make Vercel, which is one of the popular products out there that you can use to deploy your static website, and make it the production environment. So we call it deploy to environment. Yeah, I want to deploy to several environments. You can name this as you like, but then we are calling it this one here. You know, when I was talking, during this couple of slides that we explained, I mentioned the event you can listen to. So to listen to event, you need this keyword on. The keyword on is, oh, listening to this particular event. When this event happens, that's when you should kickstart the whole process. So in this particular demo, we are listening to a push event, and we are not listening to ordinary push event. We are listening to push event that is done on the main branch. That is what this couple of line means. So we are listening to an event. We are listening to which event are we listening to? Push event. Okay. What branch are we listening to? This push event on main branch. Yeah, that's what that line means. And we have a couple of workflow, so you can read the instructions on the comment, and you can see allow you to run this workflow manually from the Actions tab. So if this is not done, if this is not done automatically for you, you can go and click the run button, run workflow button on the GitHub Action, which we will see in a bit. Okay. So then we have a couple of permissions indicated. We want a read permission. That's what we want this action to be able to read to do, and we want it to be able to write onto the pages. And as well, we want to write a token, ID token. So that's not very important. So but then that just giving a permission for your GitHub token to be able to access, for your GitHub action to access some of those things on your GitHub repository. And then you have a couple of concurrency workflows, a group of pages, and it could be cancelled at a point if you make this particular true. Okay, so we don't make it through. So this is where we need to pay attention to be able to know how to use GitHub Action. You need to know how to write jobs. Okay, so to write jobs, you can see this is the first job that we need to focus on. This is the job that's doing the work of deploying into a GitHub pages. Okay, this is the job that's doing that. So we give it a name. This is just, you can name it anything so far it follow the standard. Yeah, you not put a couple of things that does not allowed here. So you can give it any name. And here is the variable that I was talking about the other time, that we can create a variable, and this is how you create a variable. So this particular URL can be referred to, you can refer to it along the line of the your job. So we create an environment, we give it a name, we call it GitHub pages, and we want to generate a URL so that we get the link to the website we are deploying or to the product we are deploying. Okay, then we are running on, I mentioned you need a runner. So to be able to signify or tell GitHub Action the runner to run on is basically you use this keyword runs on. Then we want to run on Ubuntu latest. So GitHub Action will help us create a virtual machine somewhere and be able to set up every other thing that we want to set up to be able to run our code. So inside this, GitHub Action set up an Ubuntu latest virtual machine for us, and inside that, to check out our code using these GitHub Actions. So you can go to GitHub /GitHub and put this. If you go to github.com/ copy this, put this at the end, you'll be able to link up the repository of this particular action. So you can fork it, clone it, and edit it to your taste if it is not working the way you want it to work. But that's not the focus of this session. The focus of this session is how to get started with it. So we are just calling this. This is like a function written by someone. It's an action already, so we can just use it since it's depending on the community work. So we call this. Then to set up to check out the code, our code base, check it out. Then after that, we want to configure pages to be able to deploy to GitHub pages. And then when it is configured, we want to upload that particular artifact generated. Artifact will be generated during the configuration process. And then the artifact will be uploaded using this particular action. So we can have many more things to be done here. But for this session, that's all what we'll be doing. And finally, the artifact we get, we'll deploy it, and we get to see our page deployed. So that's the first stage. It will be deployed to the staging environment. And to talk about the production environment, then we'll get to see that, this particular one should depend on the first one. If the first one does not complete deploying, this one should not kickstart. That's what this particular one is what it means. So if the first GitHub, which is this particular one, if this one does not complete, do not kickstart the other one. So we want to deploy this other one to Facel. So we are having two different environments. If you have been working in a production level or in a very big project, you understand what this one is doing, deploying into test environment and deploying into production environment. Then we set up our environment as well, get to see URL for that we can use to access our products. Then we set up runner for that particular one as well, which is on Ubuntu latest. Same thing we've done for the other one. Then we check out our code, the GitHub repository, we check the code. Then we install the CLI by running this on the runners that we set up. And then we run this code. and every other thing that comes with it. I'm very sure we've been able to get the link to the gist, and we've been able to follow up to this level. So this is the workflow that we need to complete the process. Because of our time, we only have like 15 to 10 to 15 minutes left here, and I have a couple of things to show us. So I will be committing this into my GitHub by just adding this. Just add everything. So I've added them. So I can say added GitHub action workflows. So if you have been able to follow along to this level, so every other thing that we need to do will be on GitHub, except the one that we need to get our token from Facel and include our token. So there are a couple of things to show us. Here with me, we have I want to push to origin. So if I go back to GitHub, so I've pushed this. If I refresh this page on my GitHub, I should have that thing I just, you can see I have that push, and there should be an error. This action should fail. So if you click on the action tab, you will see your action running. I talked about visualization the other time and how to track what is happening. This action should fail. I mentioned that. Yes. You know why it fails? If you don't know, you can come down here, scroll down, you'll be able to see the error, and you can see it's telling us that get page size failed. That's what we expect, because we've not enabled GitHub pages. We need to enable GitHub pages. That's one. The second thing is we need to add token, Facel token, to be able to deploy to Facel as well. So to be able, we now do that two together. So let's start by enable GitHub pages for our action. So to do that, under your repository, you go to settings. So if you fork the repository the other time, you can push that to the fork repository. If you clone it directly, you need to create another repository and push it to that repository you just created. A moment. Let me drink water. So you need to create a repository. If you clone it down and you just create a repository and push it there, then you can follow along. So under that repository, you just push through. You click on the settings button, and then you can go ahead and go to pages. So that's where to enable your GitHub action. Okay, so you can see it's telling you the branch you are to deploy. So we are deploying main branch. Let's do that manually. Then we can deploy with GitHub action by looking at the source. You can see, and then it kickstart everything for us. So if you've not created the GitHub action before, you can select any action that you like from here, but then we've created our own. So that's why it gives us an option to create our own, and we've done that before now. So we've enabled that. The second thing that we need to do is to include our environment variable. Look at this. At this point, we say secret Facel token. So how do we now get these secrets into our actions? That's what we need to do next. So under the settings, I can go to action, secret actions. Then for me to be able to know what to put under my action, it's basically Facel token. And for me to do that, I can go ahead and get my Facel token from Facel. You can as well do that. Just go to Facel, click settings. Then under settings, you'll be able to see tokens. So I will be deleting it immediately after the session. So I don't mind if you, so I can call it token. So I'm just showing you how to get it. Facet token, set scope. Let me give it full access. Then let me just make it 7 days. But then I will be deleting it after the session. Then I will have my token. So this is not your token. This is my token. So to be able to use it on GitHub, I went to settings, then under settings, I click these secrets and variables. Then I click on the actions. Then I will be giving it Facel token. I have that already. And then I will be pasting the secret I copied. Then add the secret. Okay, so now the action may not start because we did not add anything new. So for me to be able to kickstart the process for the action, all what I need is make another push to the repository, and then what I would do is add something my readme. I can just get a what I will add here is from my action. It's not compulsory, just add something. But what I want here is something. I want to add a badge, status badge to my yeah, probably I need to open this up. My time is running out, but then I will have to do this. Create status badge. Let me create status badge, and then I'll copy this and put it in my README file. Then commit it from my. So put it here. You can do that. You can follow the process, but then that's not the point. So let me commit this so that I will kickstart the process again. Added badge. Then commit. Oh my god. To cancel this, add this. Then commit. Yeah. Yeah, sync the two. So by now, the action will have kickstarted and start running. And if everything works well, we get to see our project being deployed. Okay, so let's wait for that to deploy and see what happens. So it's running the action to deploy to GitHub pages for us. Yeah, we'll be leaving that 5 minutes to take question and leave the air as soon as possible. Yeah, I have this deployed to GitHub pages already. So we can see a couple of steps that follow. So we set up our environment, we set up runners and all. We check out the code by pulling out the code on the GitHub repository. We set up the pages that we want to deploy to by running this action, configure, then we generate ActiveArt and we deploy it. So because of the that we added, URL variable that we added, we can be able to just link up what we built, and this is the project that we built. So I can put in a username, that's my username basically, and then submit it, and then we make query to the GitHub API, then bring back my username and my location, and this is basically what our app is doing. This app is live, everybody can access it. Let me pull it here on the chat so that we get to see it up. So and that's, you deploy it to GitHub pages, as simple as that. Then it does not stop there. We can add a protection rule that you need to review it before getting to deployment. You need to do a lot of things, but because of our time, I will have to stop here today. If you have a couple of time more to come around and see how this thing work together, yeah, I'll be looking forward to do that with all of us. So let me see if we have it deploy onto the, but yeah, then we have it on my page on Vercel. Let's get the link and see the production ready on Vercel as well. So we get it deployed. Okay, the one on Vercel is having a couple of glitches. Yeah, and I don't have that set up, so we can't be debugging this at the moment. So yeah, bear with me. If there's no glitches, you can be able to access it and be able to see what you deployed. So with that, I want to stop here because of my time and take some couple of questions that we may have. Yeah, I can stop sharing at this point. So thank you so much for joining. I'll be taking the questions now. Yeah, thank you for joining. I can see that many of us are busy. We are busy doing this because nobody's bringing up question at the moment. That means that's a sign that we are doing it. Can we use workflow to run unit integrate? Yes. You can do as many things as you can do with a CI/CD pipeline. The reason why I did not show us how to set up tests and all of that is because, one, I don't have tests in the project that we are running. Two, we don't have the whole day to do it. So you can just set up work a section, a step in your job to do the testing and run testing, and definitely to run the test you have and run the coverage and tell you many things that you need to know about that particular test that you are running. So basically, you can run a unit test and integration testing with the GitHub action. Yeah. Let's see. Hi, thanks for the demo. I'm stuck on getting the pages enabled. Wow, sorry about that. Go to settings. Then under the settings, you'll be able to see pages among the tabs. So click the pages, and then you see deploys button. Then you click that deploy button. Then you click GitHub Action beta or something like that. So click it, and everything will run. Then what you need to do is just make an action happen by just pushing something into the repository, and everything will kickstart again and to definitely deploy. So I'm sorry that you get stuck at that point, but then that's what you need to do to get it done again. Let's see if you have any other question, you can take that. But time, we need to check that. We only have what is CI/CD? I thought it was more complex. Yeah, just a buzzword. Although I try my best to make it simple for us during the slide presentation. So it's as simple as that. Don't take it too hard. As you progress, CI is just the way of merging the codes together, code working on by different people, and be able to build it. Out of building that, you'll be able to generate an artifact, and you'll be able to do testing. You'll be able to get a lot of things out of there. So that's basically it. It's not a very gigantic stuff. It's as simple as that. And the CD part is making it available for your customer, the process of deploying it. So it's as simple as that. But then when you get to work on very big enterprise products, you may have to make it bigger and more expensive or more technical than I just explained now. But for now, just take it as that, and you are good. It's not a rocket science, basically. Yeah. Next question, if there's more. Can you send the link to the Fatex API token key? Yeah, just go to facet.com. Let me see if I can get you. It's a simple thing, HTTPS facet.com, and then you register there. Then you register. When you register there, then you can go and click on settings, then click on tokens, then you generate the tokens, and then you push it and put it as what's it called? Put it as secret under your GitHub repository. Yeah. Okay, so I think there's no more question for us. I want to be sure you enjoyed the session. And thanks so much for joining us this evening or wherever time zone you find yourself. And thanks for being with us as we have some of the process. If you are unable to follow up, this video will be available on YouTube. You can go and rewatch it. And if you have any issue, that's my username or my Twitter username. My Twitter handle, as you may call it. You can reach out to me on Twitter if it is possible. And if not, my username on GitHub is as well Taurash. And you can reach out to me. I'll be very glad to help out in any ways. So thanks so much for joining. I will see you some other time. Rosendo is here. Hope you enjoyed the session as well.
Yeah, I absolutely did. Thank you so much, Rashid, for joining us. Once again, Rashid, GitHub Campus expert, MLH Top 50, and also GitHub Actions wizard. Thank you for showing us some of the things that you know. A lot of the people in the chat, it seems, really enjoyed everything that went on during the workshop. Just so y'all know, keep it locked because we're doing our daily stream right after this. So you'll get to see some more MLHers doing some more MLH things. If you want to put some of this newfound knowledge you have to use, go ahead and head over to ghw.mlh.io/challenges. Check out the GitHub challenges that we have. You'll be able to utilize actions. You'll also be able to kind of like take a look at GitHub Copilot if you like things like that. Definitely check it out because it's worth doing. And yeah, once again, Rashid, thank you so much for joining us, and everyone that joined us, thank you so much for spending the time.
Well, shout out to the team at MLH for what they are doing, and thanks so much, Rosendo, for bringing us on. Yeah, I'm very happy to be here, and I love the energy in the chat. Thanks so much for joining us as well. We'll see you some other time. Yeah,
Awesome.
thank you.
All right, y'all. See you soon. Bye.
Bye.